Okay. Yay. Now we figured out what happened with
What
the
happened?
copy paste issues.
Ah,
Some of the info got truncated when it was being put into the calendar where everybody was going for all the links. So, hey, it
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. I don't know how long
So,
I'm gonna stick around because I'm kind of tired and I have to be up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah, everybody's welcome. We are on the schedule for to be here until midnight. Um, if everybody, doesn't want to stay that long, that is perfectly fine. Leave whenever the notion hits you that you need to go. We'll be fine. Let's see. That is not what I want to do. So, first of all, yay, and thank you for sticking around to the very, very end to everybody. And as Vera had said, thanks to everybody who helped work on this. We'll be sure to thank all of the panelists too. Um, and I just wanted to ask, did everybody have a good time?
Yes.
Oh, it was great.
Everybody can talk, by the way. You don't have to stay on mute. You can turn your cameras on if you want, or off if you're like, oh my God, I look tired and I don't want anybody to see what I look
It's a
up
chat.
to you.
I'll be like muting myself periodically because my husband's like watching TV.
Okie dokie. Yep, that is also okay. You should be able to mute yourself whenever you need to, and turn yourself and unmute yourself as well. So, first off, what was your favorite part of the day? Anybody that wants to speak up
Sure, go
can.
ahead. You can talk. It's fine. What was your favorite?
Unfortunately,
The one with the
and the writers roundtable.
Oh, okay. So Carson said the writers roundtable, and somebody next
That
to
was
Ellen
really good.
was saying something.
Trinity says the one with the space stuff. She's talking about Bridget's session.
Bridget's panel, the one with the space stuff. Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
I
slept
enjoyed.
through it is mystery.
Oh yeah, did you miss the whole thing, Karsten?
Yeah.
Oh well, you can watch it on video because we
Yeah.
recorded it.
It's worth the watch. It's great.
Yep. And I will let Bridget know that you liked it, Trinity. Well, okay. So anybody else have a favorite? I'm with Karsten on the Writers Roundtable. I always enjoy that one. I also enjoy the Hollywood panel. That was fun.
That was great.
It was kind of fun seeing some familiar faces as well as new ones.
Mhm.
I kind of
I
loved all
thought
of
that
them. for
Brandy
different
Starks
reasons.
was very interesting on the how they investigate the paranormal.
Oh yeah. All this time that I've known Brandy, I've never gone on one of her ghost hunts, and I'm like, I really should do that.
Yeah, I bet it would be kind of fun.
I think it would. So I was asking her, especially since it's gonna be good weather for going on it on adventures soon. It'll, before it gets so
Too
hot,
hot. Yeah.
you can't even, you sweat walking to your car, from your driveway,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I kind of
no,
loved all of them for different reasons. And honestly, I just love the sheer variety. Like there's really just a lot of neat different things for everybody.
good. I like the variety too. We try to make sure about that whenever we're making the schedule that we have that it's not a whole lot of, the same stuff. Um, okay, well, was there anything that anybody didn't like? They're thinking, oh God, not that again?
Issues.
What?
What was that?
The tech issues.
Oh, I know
Well,
it. There's
You're
yeah,
right. I was thinking
that
the same
wasn't
thing.
exactly a panel, but yes, I agree with you on the
Yeah.
nobody
Oh, I
ever
thought you were
liked
talking
tech
about in
issues.
general.
Yeah.
Well, we have one every year. There's always one guest that something happens to them. So it's like, if we didn't, it wouldn't be normal. So,
well, that wasn't even a tech issue. That was a no-show.
but But the thing is, we don't know what happened because I haven't heard back, and I hope she's okay. Like I
Yeah.
literally
Okay,
don't know
so
what's
yeah,
happening.
we
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
in
so it's
the
because she's always made it. Like Michelle
Right.
never fails to
in
show up.
Discord,
So-
we just said that she was having technical difficulties because we
Right,
assumed
we
that was
don't
the
know,
case, but we
honestly.
didn't hear from her.
Right,
Well,
honestly, and
Saying
I'm
she was
worried because
traveling and
that's
might not have
not
her
normal.
session.
That's not a.
Well, yeah, but didn't you
May-
say it was like her mom's birthday
Well,
today?
she did, but she did say that she'll be there. So it's like either she mixed up the dates, or something. And I'm just hoping it's nothing bad. Like
Yeah,
it's
same.
not,
Yeah.
which happens to everyone. That's okay. If you forgot, that's good. At least we know she's,
Exactly. We just want to
Yeah.
know you're all right.
Right, exactly.
We're okay that you
Yeah.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. It's life.
I know.
Yeah, maybe y'all could update us because I mean, we want to know too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could arrange to do that and let everybody know she's okay. She
Right,
just forgot
exactly.
or whatever. Yeah.
Well, no, because I did leave her I emailed her, like I sent her a DM, and hopefully she'll, whatever she's up to, we'll find out that she's okay. So
Yep.
anyway, but yeah, it happens, and I think it's perfectly normal because we've had another guest completely missed the panel, the Zoom invite email. So he didn't have another person we had a weather event. So it's like we always have something.
Right. A couple years ago, didn't
Yeah.
somebody miss their panel because they did the math bad on the time zone difference?
Right,
last year was Bridget missed her panel.
Oh,
No,
and
Bridget missed her
her.
because
Yeah,
she
there we
got
go.
the day wrong.
Right.
I was thinking it was like Craig Martell a couple years ago that
No, it was Jonathan Brazy.
oh, it was
Yeah.
Jonathan
Yeah,
Brazy that
Jonathan
did
was
it.
mi-
Okay,
he
yeah,
got the time or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, he got the wrong time.
Yeah.
But we're like, all right, and then we added him in somewhere else. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, we worked him in the other panel.
yep,
Yeah, he came into instead of the writers, I think we put him on languages, so that still worked out. So,
exactly.
it was
Yeah.
good.
So I think Vera's right. If we didn't have somebody get mixed up about something, then it wouldn't be normal. So
Yeah, it's like good
Yeah.
luck. We have to have a snafu of some sort.
right. So we just go with it and
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell us, everyone, what you want to have more of and less of, because that makes a difference. Because this thing will not work without everybody's input. Without what fans want to, what type of panels you want to see, what type of events. Just let us know because we will make it better next time.
I know I had mentioned this earlier, but given the way that the writers panel went today, that was super fascinating. I think we could honestly just devote a whole session to, the ramifications of AI in literature and cover art and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Well,
really.
AI is such a scary topic now because it's in flux, it's developing, so we don't know what's happening. The laws are being the laws are being passed right now about it. So
Yeah.
nothing is in there are no, like, you can't do copyright with AI work. That's part of the reason those of us who don't use any AI in anything, because that means you would lose your copyright at this point. If you try to incorporate AI into your work, it's not your work. So according to the legal standing, it's like it's no anybody's work. So people who want to care about copyright do not use AI at this point. But
So what if you used AI, but you said you didn't? I mean,
well, if it can be proved that, if again, it's all how whatever can be shown, proved, or whatever, and that's why it's such a slippery slope. So
but who would go after you? Because it's not like plagiarism where you could say, well, that person stole my work and popped it.
Honestly, having a daughter in college right now, it's kind of scary because they have these like AI detector things that they run their papers through.
right.
And my second daughter, she wrote a paper all her own. It was amazing. The professor ran it through an AI checker and it said, oh, like 27% of it was written by AI. She's like, I wrote every word of that my dang self. So it's really hard to tell. And
Yeah.
that's
That's
freaky.
Saying,
You know-
and how do you prove that you didn't use AI? I
Right.
mean,
Here's one scary detail. I think an AI checker assumes that if you use M dashes a lot, you're AI, which is
Huh.
nonsense because I use M dashes a lot. A lot of authors we like to use M dashes in our
Yeah.
narrative, but that's one of the things that the AI checker looks at, and you're like, no way,
gonna
don't
say,
take away
you
my
like
M
using,
dashes.
I was gonna say you use an ellipsis a lot. I have never noticed you using an M dash, but yeah.
I use them both. I use the ellipsis a lot and I use M dash a lot. So it's like, yeah,
Gotcha.
either
just
way,
found out I
it's
might
like,
be in
I'm
there.
not changing. I'm not gonna change that. It's how I write.
Yeah. And um whereas you were saying that Chat GPT used some of your books, Vera, so
Two of my books.
now it knows how to write like you do. So
Yeah.
somebody could say, well, I mean, all this sounds just exactly like the AI. Well, duh, because it copied her.
Well, listen, in fact, you guys can go right now. There's an Atlantic, the Atlantic, the online magazine. They
Yeah.
published a database. You can Google for it. I can't get into it because I don't have an Atlantic subscription. But when I think somebody let me in there, I ran my name, and you can do it yourself. You can run my name through it, and it tells you what it took. So I'm like, hello, you took Compete, and you took my book, my short novella, short novel, long novella, The Clock King and the Queen of the Hourglass. That's not tag, it's unrelated, but it was another book. It was published in the UK by PS Publishing, and that's it's my work. And it ate that, and it ate Compete. So two things that it scraped and took for its own, without permission, without anything. And it's like, well, it's just it's very strange and scary to know that this is happening out there. And this is the original Chat GPT did this. So
Strange and scary, but perhaps your influence is a good thing.
Can you speak?
Sorry.
can you
I
turn
said-
up your volume? We can hear you.
Yeah, if it's strange and scary, but perhaps your influence is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's that part. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't, this is part of the reason, because learning about that, I got really kind of upset, and I'm like, I don't want to touch, I'm not getting anywhere near AI, anything, until it's stable. Like, if there is the time has passed, the industry has grown, there are laws, we know how to deal with it, then maybe I'll do. But the only thing can see myself doing is maybe cover art, and maybe like, never for writing. I just don't see I don't need AI for writing. But I could see myself wanting to use images, because there's some images that could be, and if it's legitimate, if it's something that AI is like, it becomes a legal thing you can do, then I can probably incorporate it into cover art, because that saves you time. Cover art is a pain in the butt to make. It's a lot of work, so I can see why. But if AI starts to rip artists off, I am not for that. I do not want artists to be. As an artist myself, I can speak for that. Like, no, I am not touching AI. Until then, nothing. I'm not going to get close to AI. So it's just an unknown territory for now.
Yeah. But so Ellen, I wrote that down as a potential panel topic for 2026. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take all the panel ideas, and then we'll go over them later and figure it out what we want to do. But we'll take all the ideas.
Oh, and somebody was saying elsewhere that we should tell people about TagCon, even if they're not tag fans, because this is not limited. As you can see, the panels are general audience. They're fun for anybody. Like, we have science track, we have the media and Hollywood track. So it's like, you don't have to be a reader of the Atlantis Grail to enjoy the panel about how Hollywood works. So tell all your friends who are, they don't have to
Just
have
make
read
sure
any
they,
books.
all they have to do is register and get on
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah, and it's
mean,
free. It doesn't,
My
it doesn't,
my nephews like to watch the science panels.
right, exactly,
They don't, want to do any of the other stuff, but the science panels, what's going on in Hollywood, writers,
right,
those are general for anybody.
right.
Um,
But the thing is, it never occurred to me, whoever brought this up earlier, it never even occurred to me that this is an issue for people. I'm like, yeah, of course we want everybody to come in, but if they're thinking that, oh, I have to have read the books to be there, it's like, no, you don't
Yeah,
have
good
to have
point.
read
if you
anything.
want to participate in trivia,
Right,
but
that's a little bit,
that's the only one that you need any knowledge of the books on.
right, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, just tell everybody, and that if they like that kind of material, because it's a science fiction convention, it's science fiction, which means that you're gonna have science, you're gonna have mythology, and you will have interesting things that are science fiction people like. That's the kind of stuff, which means that we're going to get into if it's film or media or Hollywood stuff, we'll have that. And and as time goes by, we have slightly different panels because new things happen. Like we had the show and tell stuff. We may have more stuff about like archaeology and ancient languages, and more stuff about historical. So we may get into that next
We
time.
just need to find somebody that is knowledgeable in those topics.
Yep, exactly.
I was going to say, yeah, last year I was talking to somebody about, I don't know, something that Michelle had said on the panel last year, right? And they go, well, how would you know? And I was like, because she literally said that in the panel at the convention that we had. And they're like, she was on a panel at a convention? I'm like, yes. And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it was just an hour. Well, she doesn't go to many conventions. I'm like, I know.
I know we're so lucky that we had Michelle all this time.
Absolutely.
And the fact that she got either lost or whatever, it's like she gets the card because she has not failed us ever. So it's like
absolutely. Right.
Everybody gets a pass, for that.
But it didn't dawn on me. I should have told that person, hey, come this time because she'll be back. So
Right.
we should try to remember and then ask our guests to say, hey, you're welcome to, tell everybody that this is a panel you're going to be on, and have them register for the convention so they can get the link and join your panel.
Right. So it's like that. For some reason, this just never occurred to me that this is an issue for people. I'm like, it's TechCon. It doesn't say you have to be you're not going to be like at the door. You're not going to be registering with a.
Nope. We don't have gatekeepers. They're going to say, how many of the books have you read, and can you answer 100 trivia questions?
Well, just like if you go to a Star Trek convention, people don't check at the door that you have to have watched Star Trek and everything about every episode. And it's like, no.
No, I was going to say, I don't know. Maybe some of the Star Trek conventions they do, but
right. But in general, but like whatever theme, like Gallifrey, I don't think they're gonna
I was
check.
kidding. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not gonna see if you know which doctor which doctor did what, and it's like just come on by to the convention.
Exactly.
Yeah. So TagCon, tell everybody you know about it. Anybody who likes that type of programming, please come on down.
Yeah. And we will have the registration stuff soon.
Well, if I just hear like all the Discord pings at once.
Yeah.
Because I made a little welcome announcement. Hi, Trinity. And yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm getting ding, 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 ding.
I know
ding,
I'm
ding,
getting
ding.
tons of dings, and like I don't know where, because I'm not very comfortable with that server yet. I don't know where anything is. So I'm like, what, where?
So probably the dings you're getting is in the other server, the 2025.
Yeah.
Oh, although it's probably like all the people like saying hi and stuff.
Yeah.
Doing their little waves.
Yeah, I think that is what it's doing. I mean, that's where all the messages are from.
Yeah,
if you want, you
because
can.
I'm looking at this one and going, where are they? And I'm like, oh, there that is. That's the one that.
You can change your notifications to just like mentions or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they mention you. Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
for
so if you right click
people.
on the server, then you go to notifications, and then it'll.
That is not a good plan for those of us trying to be the tech support people, but definitely works for everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like, I keep trying to figure out, I have the sound down on my
That's a
phone,
beautiful
and I
thumbnail.
swear that it is still going blurp blurp on my phone. And I'm
mine
like,
did a
how's it
blurp
doing that?
blurp,
The
and-
sound is down.
it's
Man,
funny.
that thumbnail for the closing ceremony YouTube video is beautiful.
What did they pick?
It's me doing like
It's
a little
Alex.
okay thing. It's amazing.
Oh, I see it now. Okay, that is funny.
Yeah.
Here is your reminder.
Alex,
Is it time to feed the cats?
Yeah, in the beginning, the very first panel, I had the cat photo bomb thing, the video bomb situation. Well, Pumpkin was she had just eaten, and then she decided that she had to go behind my laptop and start shoving it at me. This is why I paused. Like if anybody wondered why I had to stop and get up and move the cat, she was slowly moving my laptop off its stand and into me.
Yep.
I mean, Asen has just been trying to, I mean, he's still giving me daggers.
Of course, because yeah, how dare you?
Because he can't get to his spot on, under the covers next to my butt.
Like, how absolute dare you not do everything he wants you to? Yeah,
I mean, who's the boss?
exactly. How absolute dare. Absolutely. Yeah.
He gets to go to the vet on Monday.
Ooh, I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
Actually, he likes the vet.
Oh,
It's
okay, good.
it's his 6-month checkup. He goes every 6 months and gets his heart. I think it's heartworm. That's 6 months, and then they check him out, weigh him. They're going to tell him he's getting fat, which he is. With me being home all the time, he eats more because he decides that he's got to have my food as well as his food. Asen,
Me6 is being stupid.
huh?
What's being stupid?
Oh, I said Me6 is being stupid.
Oh,
But we now have like it because it added another bot when I tried to personalize Me6, and now we have Kemji, and I named the like OG Me6 Manala.
Nice.
And so now it's like the little like Kemji, its status is playing with Manala.
Oh, I like that. That's cute.
then you'll need to add
Only for
Ori
farting.
and other pets as they're announced in future
Oh,
books.
I don't know if I can do that easily, but
Well, not right now.
yeah. And then I can change the image.
Okay, that is
Whoa.
definitely not me.
I try to get some more sleep, so bye until next year.
Good night.
Okay, bye,
Karsten.
Karsten.
Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, auf Wiedersehen. I think we're all kind of
I know, dazed and confused and tired. Yeah.
They're gonna put our faces on a pillow.
Oh, yeah. Sleepy Earthies. Yeah.
And even for those of us in mountain time, it's been a long day.
Oh, yeah.
time on this one, I looked at it wrong because I couldn't get into the waiting room initially. And I thought, well, am I too early? And then I looked at the time and I thought I'm an hour too early. And then I just completely messed it up. So
That is all right. That's the nice part, I guess you could say, about a virtual convention as well, is that, well, if you miss something, it'll be online later and you can still catch it.
yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not the same as having been there live and in
Mine's
person
catchy.
ish. But I think there's a cat that's coming to complain about me being in this chair too long. They're
Yeah.
like, you have not been available for pets, and that's completely unacceptable.
Well, that's kind of, but
Yeah,
What
that's
Jason's
and
opinion
the cat's been scratching at my door, and Tyga's been scratching at the door.
is.
Although he hardly ever comes in my room. He comes in to get treats because I have the treats.
Yes. When I was feeding me, I also gave the cats a few treats. So I think that's helped keep them at bay for a bit before they started filing official complaints with the upper management. Yeah. So, I'm almost finished with this crazy thing. I'm on row 3 of 5 to be absolutely
Doing
done
a
with
lot
it.
of crocheting.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
now we can't see you.
Oh, well,
It's
that's because I'm hiding
invisible.
behind it. Oh, I held it up and it completely disappeared.
It
Wow.
is.
Okay, that's kind of
It's
interesting.
an invisibility
Does
cloak.
that.
It's
It's
the
the
There you go.
unexplained.
invisibility
Yeah.
cloak, yeah.
Yeah, really. It is definitely the cloak of invisibility there.
Yeah, I
I mean,
have one too. The one you made me last year.
oh yeah, I did. Yep, except now you're disappearing behind it again. But yeah. So okay, now there we go. So you
Nice.
can see like the bottom stripe is really longer than the top stripe of black, so that's the last bit. And then we'll have a nice warm pocket scarf that I will take to work because that's the coldest place I usually ever have to go. Because that office gets it's like you could store meat in that office, I swear to God.
In where I used to work in the summer, you'd have to literally, people had blankets and wore sweaters. And in the winter, you wore short sleeves because
Oh,
the temperature was never,
backwards though.
it was too hot in the winter, too much heat,
Yeah.
too much air conditioning in the summer.
I've seen a couple of the ladies that are in the group that sits near us, under blankets and wearing scarves and wearing fingerless gloves because they need to type, otherwise they would wear regular gloves.
Yeah.
When I first started working at the college that I worked at in Durango, we didn't have air conditioning. And a lot of homes in Durango don't have air conditioning because it doesn't generally get that hot in the summer. But sometimes it would get pretty hot. And so we would take a break and go up on what we called the floor, which is where they had all the computer equipment. And they had to keep that really cold.
Yep.
So when it got too hot in our offices, we would make excuses to go up on the floor and spend some time in the room there with the cold computers.
Oh darn, we have to go where the computers are. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were the IT department. That's what I worked in. So it was just dumb and all, but
I mean, technically, I am.
I
Oh, no, go
remember when I worked at the bank in the first few years. This was mid 70s, and they were one of the first banks to have a computer. And the computer was almost the entire basement floor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was huge. It was, the size of a house. But,
Some of them
that's
absolutely were.
and the punch cards and
Oh, yeah.
And now it's not nearly as powerful as our smartphones.
I mean, the compared to the old computers, definitely not.
I mean, my first personal computer did not have a hard drive.
Same.
It had 2 floppies, the 5-inch floppy.
No, oh no. The first one I worked on didn't even have that. The first one I had at home had 2 floppies. The first
And one was my RAM, or that was my drive. And then
Yeah.
the other one was and one of the first games that I played on it, and David was in 3rd grade, I think. And it was Oregon Trail.
Woo!
And we played Oregon Trail because
You died of dysentery.
Yep. He played it at school. And so I had to get it so we could play it.
I was a good bear hunter though.
Oh, good.
I could do the hunting thing real well.
I could do the hunting real well.
I never, as far as I can remember, never played Oregon Trail. I don't know why. I mean, I played a lot of other stuff, but it's not that
Well,
one.
I had David in the house. I had the boys that were kids, so he was playing it. So I got to learn what he's playing. Whereas with uh, the first album that my nephew Matt put out, his first DVD, my brother and I spent hours copying the song on
Oh
DVD
yeah.
on my computer.
Yep.
It took like 2 days.
Yep.
And it just and I of course I had one, but I didn't like the music because it's heavy metal, and that's just not my thing. But he's very eclectic now.
I was trying to remember. We used to play some kind of quote unquote video game, but it was all by way of text. And you had to say things like you could only hold like, I don't know, three things in your pocket or something at once, and you'd have to say like drop sword, pick up rocks.
Yes.
So I don't remember what game that was anymore.
My dad had a Game Boy. He played Tetris. That was his game.
Oh yeah, well that was this game I was playing before Tetris came out.
Yeah, I played a really old one a long time ago that was an RPG, but it was text only. It was like you moved from one room to the next and picked up items.
Yeah, that was kind of
Oh.
what I'm trying to think of is very, very similar to that.
I did, yeah, one of my first computer games was all text and I really liked it. I'd like to do another one like it. It was, I don't know if it was a mystery, but you had to go to different locations and do different things and
Yeah.
It
in the
was challenging.
process.
It
And
really
I
was.
enjoy it, there was a lot of thinking you had to do,
Yep.
problem solving.
And then I also was the Civilization
Oh
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, I never did that, but I did, what's the one where you build Sim City? The
Yeah.
the older versions
The
of it.
old, yeah, like the OG one. Yeah, as they
Before
say.
they started adding all the sim people, I never got into that.
Yeah. Shoot, there was one other thing that just occurred to me and it flew out of my head again. Oh no, I was gonna say that. Okay, so when I was in high school, somebody bought a personal computer to donate to our high school. Mind you, this was 1980. And so all it was a TRS-80. And the only way we had to store information at the time, because they didn't buy us a floppy drive to go with it,
Right?
cassette tapes.
Oh my God.
We had to store all the little
I
programs that we wrote
remember,
on
yeah,
cassette
and
tape.
um, then my second computer, I had the 3.5-inch disc
Oh yeah.
along with the five.
Yep.
When I
My
was,
first one was a VIC
when I
20
was
with the
teaching in the
cartridges.
late 70s,
My first one was a VIC 20 with the cartridges, and you could get
Oh
the little
yeah.
super expander cartridge that had RAM on it and storage up there.
I was teaching in the late 70s in a community college, and one of my friends who taught there was the secretarial teacher, and they got the first two computerized word processors for the secretarial program, and each one was the size of a desk.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
the floppies were 8-inch floppy disks.
I worked on
we
some
we
stuff
had
in college
those.
like that.
Yeah,
We had one of those in our department in the bank,
sure.
and the secretary for the collection department, there was one of the vice presidents, he managed to get it, and he was really good with that stuff. He taught her how to do it, and then he got frustrated. And then he came to me, Nancy, can I teach you how to do this?
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was a young kid,
Yeah.
I'm in my 20s. I said, okay. And he said, and then you can teach her. I caught on, right away, and then she eventually, caught on to it, but it was basically form letters that she had in there. But that was the size of
A desk.
and we had to get credit reports, we had a teletype.
Yep.
Yeah.
We the college
Fax machines, you had to load the pages one at a time.
Yeah.
the engineering school that I graduated from, we had some of the computers that needed the 8-inch floppies, and we had some of them that needed the 5 1/4s. We had a whole lot of different kind of systems,
Yeah.
depending on what people were studying and what kind of computers some business had donated to our school. So we had a lot of things nobody else wanted. It was weird. Anyway, but part of the time I worked in the lab as a computer assistant, and we were forever having people sit down at the computer that had the 8-inch floppy drives, look at the drive, put their 5 1/4 inch floppy disk into it, which of course promptly fell into the drive and they couldn't get it back out. And then they would come and ask us, like, I don't think this computer's working right. And we'd be like, you are correct. It is no longer working right. And now we have to call the tech. And and they would have to come and disassemble the crazy drive and get their 5 1/4 inch floppy out of it, put it back together. And we would we never did understand what possessed these people. Like, these aren't just regular college students, okay? This is an engineering school where you hope that the people are a little more prone to thinking first, but it did not work out that way.
That always surprised me too because by the time I was through college and working and, 10 years, 12 years working, I thought that every single college student would know way more about computers than I did. And I was blown away by how many of them still needed a lot of help in the labs and stuff. I'm sure that's not true anymore, but it was like, I thought that, they were growing up with that stuff. I would have thought that they would have had it down pat easily, but an awful lot of them didn't.
Nope. Yeah, so spending years, several years at different colleges and different situations and a couple of jobs, basically being lab assistant, tech support kind of person. Well, you learn a lot about people and a lot about what the assumptions that you've made yourself about what other people understand.
Yeah.
And also you gather a lot of good stories. Yeah. I think the funniest one was the secretary of the computer department, right? So she kept complaining that her boot disk would just quit working, right? So this was still back in the day of, you've got the PC and it's got 2 floppy drives in it. So you have one of them's the boot disk, right? And she'd be like, it's not working again. And then they would go and somebody would come and look at it and, like, sure enough, it's not working anymore. They'd give her a new one. And then that'd last for about, I don't know, a week maybe. And week and a half, sometimes 2, and it would quit working again. And she'd like, it's quit working again. And I think like the 4th time somebody went over and said, okay, I need to see exactly what you're doing with it, right? So, because they're like, why it's just happening to her, nobody else. Why is it happening over and over and over again, right? So they're like, okay, walk me through what you do. She goes, okay, well, at the beginning of the day, put the thing in and they're like, oh, she shows the whole thing. And she goes, okay. And they're like, okay, now then, what do you do at the end of the day? She goes, well, okay. So I have to turn the computer off. So I shut it down and I take the little disk out of the drive, and I don't want it to get lost. So I put it here against the metal filing cabinet with a magnet. And they went, now we know why it keeps not working. Okay, good.
Goodness.
Oh my God. So she was, but because it was just like fridge magnet-ish kind of thing.
Yes.
It took it you know, several days to demagnetize enough of it that it would quit working.
And you have done a study there, because now you know that it takes about 4 or 5 days to demagnetize.
Exactly.
Well,
She was
with that
accidentally
level-
doing a good study. Yeah. But yeah, so we're like, okay, well, yeah. So like I said, you learn a lot. And you also learn things to remind people when they're just starting out in computers. Do not put this near a magnet because that's bad.
But we didn't know any better.
Well, that was a lot of it. Nobody had told her, hey, this thing is actually, you know, sensitive to magnets. So she had no way of knowing,
Yes.
you know, not to do that with it. None whatsoever.
Right.
And I thought, well, you know, that they would make a lot of fun of her. And I was like, no, I mean it's kind of a funny story to tell, but
Yeah.
even at the time I'm like, did anybody tell her not to do that? Well, no. Like, well, how is she supposed to know? Can't get mad at her for not knowing something she was never told. No, sorry.
You heard about the old cup holder story? The drive being the cup holder.
Oh yeah, the
Yep.
integral cup holders. Yeah.
My cup holder.
Yes, my desktop came with a cup holder. Yeah. Um there was another one that was that a friend of mine's story where he worked, where somebody left their 5 1/4 inch floppies in a hot car. So of course,
Oh,
Uh-oh.
being plastic, they kind of curled up. So he's like, well, what do you do with things when they're curled up? Anybody want to guess?
Iron it.
There you go. Iron it. Yep. And believe it or not, like 3 out of the 4 discs or something like that, most of them still worked even after you'd ironed them. They were more amazed by that
Yeah.
than they got melted in a car. You know, how did they still work?
They don't make them that way anymore.
Oh no, no. Yeah, that was it's like, man, come on. But I still have to think, you know, if you don't know how the thing works and you just know that it's, you know, I've accidentally, you know, curled it. Ironing makes sense. I mean,
Yes.
it does. You know, I've wrinkled this thing. I shall try and flatten it back out.
well, back then you ironed everything.
Yeah, but exactly. So that's why I thought, well, that makes perfectly good sense to iron it. I mean, when you don't know that you shouldn't.
You know, when I was a kid, Monday was wash day, Tuesday was ironing day.
Uh-huh.
And you ironed everything, including underwear.
Okay. So
And
my
she-
mom,
Yeah, we never did.
my
No,
mom
my
never
mom did,
ironed underwear, but yeah.
and starched them too.
Oh my
Ooh,
goodness. Oh my
that sounds
goodness.
itchy.
No.
She
Um,
put extra starch if Dad was bad.
I also have what I call kid logic when you're trying to work things out, but you don't have enough information. Things like if you stick your finger into a light bright socket, that's not as bad as sticking your finger into a regular light bulb socket because the light bright only takes a 25-watt light bulb, therefore it shouldn't be that bad. That is of course not how that works. But when you're a kid, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. So I tried that. That one's a me story. That was me. Using that logic, and then I because I wanted to see what it was like to kind of, you know, stick my finger in a light bulb socket, but I didn't want to get hurt.
That. Don't do that.
Well, like I was like 7. Okay, give me a break. And so that was how I went
Okay.
about it. Because I thought, well, I'll
That
just
makes
put
it
on my light
simpler.
bright because that's a really weak light bulb, so I'll be okay. I was mostly okay. I was like, whoa, okay, I don't need to do that again. Thanks.
I think
Well,
my
you
parents
learned a
terrified
lesson.
me. When I was young, my parents like, don't ever put anything in the light sockets. Don't ever like they went so scary on me that I'm like, okay, I will never.
I know. What was somebody else was going to say something to when Vera
I
was
said
talking?
you learn
sorry.
you learn what not to do. You didn't
I
do it
did. I
again?
was like, all right, now I know what that feels like. I don't ever need to do that again. And I have always had a healthy respect for electricity. And I can replace, light switches and things like that. My many years ago, I was replacing a light switch that had gone bad in the house that I was living in. And I did it the right way. I do know to turn the electricity off. And so, since it was a little dark in the room, I was having somebody hold the flashlight for me so I could see what I was doing. And they said, "Oh my God, aren't you going to get electrocuted?" I'm like, "Not unless you snuck in and turned the electricity on behind me after I turned it off." No. Are you sure? Yes, I'm positive. How do you know? Because I checked.
Well,
And
I'm negative, and together we make a perfect electrical charge.
yeah, that's true.
You're weird.
But yeah, that
Okay, Trinity.
Your son.
He's definitely my kid.
Never saw him before.
yeah, like I have no idea who that child in my house is. Yes.
Well, I'm making some food, and I was gonna mention this is kind of amusing. I had for like one of our breaks, I had French onion soup from Trader Joe's. One of the ones that we had from our eclipse party.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's been a while.
I'm finally getting to that.
That's good. That's good that you're using that up.
Well, I mean, I like it's just like
we had that.
you
You
know,
and I
I
had
finally
that the
getting
night
to this.
the night I came in.
You know, and there's still 2 more unopened things. If you knew, this is back in April
Yeah,
2020.
April.
It's
Yeah.
almost year old. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
had an
I
eclipse
think
party.
my plane came in like at 11 at night, and by the time we got to your house, it was, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
I remember.
And you're going, "Are you hungry?" "Yeah." "Okay, well, I got the French onion soup." And before that, you had been, trying to order the ramekin bowls from
Oh yeah, I got the wrong size because I was and they're
and
all
then you
teeny
finally
weeny.
got the right size, the day I was coming.
Are we
That's too funny.
Oh my God. Look what I got. I got the
Kimchi!
This is, you guys, this is a real life Kenji. This is Kenji. He's a big fat boy.
Nice.
That's a
Hi, Kenji.
That's a Kenji.
Hey, Kimji.
He's
He
a big
looks-
sweetie.
he
He's
looks
really
like
scared.
that.
He's a scaredy cat, but he's like a really big scaredy cat.
He's
And there's a pumpkin.
so the only one we haven't seen is Sunny.
Sonny's over on that. He likes to sit on the sofa back on
Yeah.
the top of the sofa. So it's territory right now. This is Pumpkin has taken over this room, and the other boys are usually there. Now, Kemji has permission to go back and forth, but if Sonny comes here, there's like nemesis.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean-
Steve was Stevie, wasn't it, that was howling outside the bedroom door, the bedroom I was in. when I
It could
stayed?
have been because he likes to be let in. Like if you close the door, that didn't sit well with him. So I'm like, open it up and let me in.
I was gonna say, didn't the boys chase Pumpkin out of places for a while?
They
Now it's her
did.
Yes.
turn.
They were terrible. And Stevie too. He was, he's a little bully to Pumpkin, and she's been traumatized so much that she's still scared of Sunny.
Aw.
But it is getting a little better. So
I mean, it's understandable, but still sad.
yeah, it's taken her this long. We're on her, I guess, 2nd year now, and it's like, wow, this is how, but she's definitely queen of this room, and she knows, like, she actually likes to sit in the chair I am right in now, and this is like my working desk. So she sometimes pushes me out. Like, okay, I guess you're
yes.
sitting here, Pumpkin.
Excuse me, human. Why are you in my chair?
And she's giving me the look like, why are you still in this chair? Why can't I sit there for a while?
Well, I mean, Asen's given me dirty looks because I haven't been able to adequately honor him today.
Yeah.
All right, so not that I'm not having fun, but
Yeah.
I know we scheduled this to go to midnight. I was just gonna ask, since it's almost 11:30, do we want to keep going to midnight, or are we getting close to feeling done?
I think, well, I'm getting, to feeling done. I mean, I started early this morning.
Yes.
Yes, it's been a very long day.
I
I'm
think we
Sleepy
should
Earthy
call
self
it a
is gonna have
day
to go
and
to
say
bed.
that we did we did it.
Yep.
So I think we had kind of a nice winding down, and then we can like collapse. Or-
Exactly.
You can finish eating whatever.
No, I put some like frozen pizza in the thing. I put,
Good.
so that's cooking right now. And I'm like, because I had the French onion soup because that was quick. I just stuffed it and I nuked it during break, and I'm like,
And Ellen's imbibing adult beverages, it looks like to me.
So, funny story, throat pain has been my constant companion for several weeks now, and I
Oh.
have been like drinking a little bit of sipping whiskey every night just to help.
Oh.
I've also been drinking like all the hot tea. I've doubled my county's tea
Do
consumption.
you have a cold or a flu or something like that?
Initially, I had strep, and then
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
took
right.
antibiotics, but the throat just wasn't getting better, wasn't getting better. We did all kinds of
Right.
testing. Finally, we found actually nasal polyps
Mm.
that could be explaining all of this, but I've been on steroids now for a couple weeks, very aggressive steroids,
Yeah.
and the throat pain has just never gotten better. So lots of
That's
tea and
weird.
fluids and whiskey at night.
Yeah.
Hey, that works.
If it works.
It does.
Right.
It doesn't
And you
burn.
get to go, I'm sorry, my doctor prescribed it.
Right? My doctor does approve quite heartily. Both of them, actually, my ENT and my family doc. So
I'm sorry that's terrible to have that for, I hate sore throats.
Yeah, that's one of the most
Yeah,
horrible
that's
things
no
to
fun.
do.
yeah, so I'm gonna see what's going on. I have a follow-up this Monday with the ENT, and
Yeah.
whether this is cleared up or
Yeah.
what, but we got to talk about the throat thing because it is not getting better.
Yeah, that's
Have you
awful.
tried honey?
Oh yeah, I have done all the
Vitamin
things.
C and D.
All
Vitamin
the
C and D.
things.
I'm like, I swear by those things. Vitamin C and D seems to like.
Well, hot toddies always work.
Right.
That's,
Or
that-
just the whiskey component.
yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I happen to like the lemon and honey to go with it. So
Oh, I agree. Yeah, and I do like the
and
hot.
I like the hot drink because
Mhm.
it does help with sinuses.
Yeah, this all day has been tea that I've been drinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been.
And I've had
I
my
mean, when
coffee.
the
I
kids
finished all of it.
when the kids have had COVID, the few times they've had it, I buy a bag of lemons and put them in big slices.
Yes, kimchi.
Boil them in a pot of water. Add and add honey and cinnamon sticks.
Yes, baby.
Oh, that sounds
And just-
good.
I
and just
do.
brew it together. And then if they want to add spirits, they can,
Mhm.
or they can drink it
I've
without
never
spirits.
added spirits. I do ginger lemon tea. So I thin
that's-
slice a piece of ginger, probably about, the size of my
Yeah.
thumb or a little bigger. And I boil that in a stock pot of water, and then I juice a couple lemons, and so I juice them, put the juice in, and then throw the rinds in for good measure.
Yeah.
Right.
Boil it for at least 20 minutes.
Oh
and
yeah. I mean,
then
I usually
infuse.
do it for about 30 minutes.
Mhm,
Once it comes
yeah.
to boil, I just, put it on the back burner on a slow simmer.
Yeah,
to
I
let
do it
all the-
longer here because of the altitude, but yeah, and so I do that, and then add enough honey to make it taste good. Although
Yes.
to get the medical benefit, you've got to get the temperature of the infusion down to 106 or less, so that you don't kill the stuff in the honey.
Oh.
But yeah, then you just add enough honey to make it taste good. Usually, honestly, I won't add any honey. I'll just drink the tea, and then I'll just take a teaspoonful of honey straight because that works
Well,
better.
and honey is a natural antibiotic.
Among other things, yeah, it's amazing.
Does it have to be any specific kind of honey or just honey?
So it's got to be like as raw as possible. Local if you can get it, because if it contains local pollens, then it can help you with anything around you that's irritating you, which is
Oh.
awesome. But any honey that's like, good raw honey will do.
So it doesn't matter if it's what flowers it was made off of. But I
Not
understand
unless
what
you're
you're
worried
saying,
about
the local
allergies.
bit. Okay.
Yeah. For like throat stuff, respiratory stuff, coughing, it doesn't matter. But if you're dealing with allergies, then something from local pollens, because it will have that for you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say I'd said something about, I don't like the honey that you can buy in the grocery store because it tastes like the flowers it was made from. And I like one of my favorite ones is honey that's made off of orange trees, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And which is easy to get here in Florida, but it's harder to get some places. And the person goes, "What are you talking about? Honey's not made from flowers." And I went,
Honey is
"Oh."
made from bee poop.
Yeah,
Kill
well, I'm
them.
like, well, okay, yes, honey's not made directly from flowers, but it is made indirectly from flowers.
It's actually
And
kind
then
of more
they
like
said,
nectar.
no, that's not where honey comes from. And I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
What did
There's
you
a
say,
whole
Todd?
debate amongst like the vegan community about whether they should have honey or not. And I'm like, nobody died. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I figured too, because my thought is like I am a vegetarian going on vegan. So I'm like
But
mostly
it came
mostly a
from
lot of vegans,
something with
but
a face.
honey is like not really hurting anything. And it's like,
Nothing
if
was killed to make the honey.
yes.
Right?
Well, that's kind of like the way I think of milk, and vegans won't
Well,
have
actually,
dairy.
what they do is with milk, it's a little different because unfortunately, theoretically, it's fine. But the way the industry is, all they kill all the calves and the cows who are like too old to produce. So it's like the cruelty is like secondary. So by using milk from regular, I'm not saying maybe small dairies are nice to their
Right.
cows, but like for the big dairies, they're just really horrible. Like the things they do to the calves and the cows is just horrendous. They kill them. So
I
that's
treat my
like a
goats well.
secondary.
I don't kill them.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
funny because the carnivore community is divided on honey too. They're like,
Right.
I don't know, should carnivores eat honey? I mean, in a way it's an animal product, but in a way it's a plant product. So what is it really? And they
Oh,
have
you mean carnivores, meaning people who prefer not to eat vegetables?
yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, because
Well,
like
it's
I eat,
definitely an
I eat,
animal
I eat
product, but it's
everything,
not.
so I guess that makes me an omnivore, doesn't it? Okay.
I think it's an animal product. I think honey is, but it's not like again the definition of it not being in any way. Because, like I said, with milk, at least some cows are really hurt, but with this, I don't think bees are ever hurt. Like you're literally just, you're
I
not
would
Think of
have
like
to
killing them.
people
Just
feeding
say
bees
that
with bad
honey is
practices.
an animal, well, it's an insect byproduct.
insect product, right? Right.
So yeah, it depends on where on that scale you put the insects. The flowers are just the food.
Yep.
Well, I'm not sure they eat all of it. They take it back to the hive and they process it. It doesn't, they're not eating it and pooping it out as
No,
honey.
Right. There's
Some of it though
stuff
they
they
kind
do
of
with it,
regurgitate,
but
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Both.
they regurgitate, but that they're not eating it, so to speak. They're processing it.
No, I think it's both. Isn't that how
It's
they?
both.
I mean,
Because the
don't know.
honeycomb is made from the poop,
The
Interesting.
comb.
and then the honey is what's in the honeycomb.
but I mean, like it's not like bees are eating something else to live off of.
No.
So it's both. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
They eat
it
the
could be
honey.
both, but mostly they need the plant, the pollen from the flowers. So that's their primary food.
Yeah.
But
Good,
yeah,
because they don't
it's
bug
one of
us.
those questions that are just, not clear.
I can see where
And we
that
are
would
definitely getting tired if now we're
talking about bees. Yes. In the chat, in case everybody didn't see it, Amber said she likes clover honey.
Oh, clover's great. Love it.
Yeah, that one's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's good stuff.
I hate honey of any kind. I have always hated honey. Even
Really?
when my mom would try to give it to us when we were kids in tea or something, I was like, no,
Well,
no, I'd
and
rather be sick than eat honey.
well, I was gonna say your problem might be similar to mine, Carrie, in that you don't like the way that the generic honey tastes. And I say generic because AKA the one you find in the grocery store all the time.
The crap in
I
a
don't like
bear.
that one either because I don't like the way it tastes. It's bleh. But then I discovered that there are, it depends on what kind of flowers the bees were making it from.
Right, there's a little different.
But
I'm
my
not a
husband
big
always
fan of
liked
it,
honey,
but
and
you know,
in
there are
one day,
differences.
we lived near a place that had hives and hives and hives, and it was a small honey store. They sold all the honey that
Yeah.
they there and everything. And I didn't like that either. So maybe there might be a kind of honey out there that I would like, but
Right.
I don't generally like sweets in general of any.
That's me too. This is why I agree with you. I'm not a sweets person, so you know,
I got the
Yeah.
salty bean.
yeah. But
And so-
it's like if it's honey flavored, I don't mind. But it's like if just pure honey on its own, it's a little too
Yeah.
much for me. Too much sweet.
Oh, honey on toast.
Yeah, that's too much for me. I couldn't do
Oh,
that.
I like peanut butter and honey on toast.
I have
Yeah.
had some peanut butters that had a little bit of honey, and you know how they sometimes market
Yeah,
them.
they mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are okay. They're a different flavor, but I think it's
Right.
more I like the peanut butter than
See,
Yeah,
you've
right.
hit upon the one thing I hate so much is peanut butter because I just like so anything peanut butter, I'm like, no.
There are better nut butters
Vera
out
will
there.
not will
Just
not have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was torment. In school, when they gave us school breakfast and lunches, I would be hungry, but I would not eat it because it just make me like I want to barf.
You're like, nope, that is not the food for me. I
Well,
get
because
that.
I've never been exposed to peanut butter until I came to the United States. We
And
don't
we,
have
when we
peanut
were,
butter.
it's what, peanut butter
Yeah,
was.
and to me, it was just so cloyingly like the things that I hate most, like sweet and cloying are the two things I do not like. I don't like molasses, hard candy. Like I don't like anything super duper
We put,
concentrated sweet.
we eat peanut butter on pancakes
oh yeah.
Yeah.
with
No,
syrup.
we used to put peanut butter and honey mixed together till it was just kind of a thin and gooey, and use that as the syrup substitute for waffle.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know what? You'll be surprised what I like peanut butter on. I like it as part of Asian food, like peanut
yeah.
I like to
sauce.
make it into a
Yeah.
peanut sauce.
When it's
Yeah.
savory, the minute it becomes savory, I'm fine with peanut butter.
Yes,
Spaghetti, yeah.
I hear you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I was going to say, so since I don't like most honey, I don't like putting it in tea, so I use agave syrup in tea.
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't use any in tea. I
Yeah.
just put milk in tea.
Ew.
The most underrated sweetener for like coffee and tea is honestly heavy cream.
yeah.
You don't
Oh,
need sugar.
I do put cream in my coffee for that very reason, so I don't have to put as much of something else in there.
The only tea I will put cream in would be the chai or kai or whatever
Chai,
you call
yes,
it.
chai.
Good.
That's the only kind. Anything else I don't. I used when I was first drinking coffee. My mother always put milk in the coffee or cream, and so of course I did too. When we first started drinking coffee, it was this much milk and this much coffee.
Oh my
And
dear.
as we
Lord.
got
No.
older, it became this much coffee and this much.
That's what they do in Colombia. Like they start their kids as toddlers. They'll do like milk and coffee, and then they just gradually change the proportions. So
That
they're
makes
like
sense.
coffee drinkers as small children.
Yeah.
But anyway, especially in the summertime, I would get a really upset stomach. And a friend of mine was actually an older person. I said, do you put, milk or cream in your coffee? He said, yeah. Try drinking it black and see if you still have an upset stomach. So I weaned myself off the milk and I never had another problem. It was the milk. It was curdling on my stomach.
Oh.
I cannot drink milk in the summertime when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
What was it?
No,
Just
I'm
the
not
milk or
allergic
was
to
it the milk
tea.
with the coffee?
But I can't have cold milk in the summertime. It curdles on my stomach.
Well, I just can't handle milk. I always hated milk like a child too. And I just don't like milk. So it's like, and I don't like any milk. We're talking about almond milk, anything. I just don't like the thing that's milk like. So I don't like that.
I used to
I
absolutely
weird.
love milk. When I was growing up, I drank a lot of milk, even up into my probably 30s, early 30s anyway. I drank a lot of milk. And then something happened and I just completely lost my taste for it. Now I haven't had it for decades and it is
Yeah.
not feeling even remotely anymore. And I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but something happened that made me completely lose my taste for it.
Were you
There's
drinking it
every
in
once in a
college?
while,
By
I
any
will
chance? 'Cause-
want a cold glass of milk with a piece of chocolate cake.
Well, I mean,
That's
humans
it.
above weaning age do not need milk, and so sometimes our bodies will reject it. Now, of course, the zoological age of weaning for humans is actually between 4 and 7 years of age. But yeah, like once you get a little older, you don't need it, and never ever drink reduced fat milk or skim milk because there's no point. Like drink
Yeah,
whole milk
I
or just
know.
don't drink it at all.
Okay, so I put half and half in my coffee, and I don't like drinking milk by itself. But if I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal, I actually like no fat milk because I don't like the taste of milk on my cereal, but it needs some kind of carrier. You know,
I had a friend
My
who was a vegan and she used water. Like she would eat cereal with water. I thought that was the scariest thing on the planet.
I
my
would have to agree with you on that one. So yeah, I
one
can't
of my
trust-
great nieces, Dennis's oldest, um, if it wasn't the vitamin D milk, and she goes, "Is that water milk or real milk?"
water milk or real
She
milk.
called,
Okay.
anything like this, the non-fat. She called that water milk.
I,
But
I, I,
at the time she was like 4 or 5. She was like 5 or 6 years old.
The
She
worst
still calls
is
it
the
that, as far as I
instant
know.
milk. My mom used to give us instant milk occasionally, and that I always hated. That was
Oh,
horrible.
that's awful.
nasty.
I
Mom
kept
used
it
to
around
give
for
milk. I used to
babies.
Non-fat
love
milk.
That's it.
Oh, it smelled funny.
My stepmother loved to give us instant milk, and that stuff was just nasty.
it. Yeah, it's horrible.
Now I will use the instant milk and the instant cream. I've got a real good brand that I use in recipes if I don't have, the
Oh,
fresh milk.
yeah, that's one thing.
But to drink it, no.
Yeah. It's
Um,
one
Um,
to use that
It
stuff
doesn't
in.
it doesn't have that smell, and it's whole milk.
I discovered one thing though. If you're going to make, like, say, Jello chocolate pudding, do you actually need real milk for that?
Yes.
You can't have no fat milk because it's the fat that helps with the make it the congealed. Because what you wind up with when you do it is just runny stuff that tastes
And you
terrible.
can't use soy milk or almond milk or
Exactly.
oat milk or any of those either.
It does not become pudding.
No.
And I learned that one the hard way because I wasn't thinking about it. And because I just grabbed the milk that was in the fridge. And because I normally, like I was saying, the only thing I usually use it for is cereal. So I had the no fat milk and I thought, oh, I'm going to make some pudding. And the pudding said no. And then after that, I always buy, like, if I'm going to be cooking, I'll buy just a little container of whole milk because
Mhm.
but it usually, no matter how much of it I buy, about half of it goes bad because I don't do anything with it.
We don't drink, that one. The boys will eat cereal, and that'll be about the only thing they'll use milk for. And like I said, for maybe some recipes. David likes to make biscuits and gravy.
Oh
Of course,
yeah.
you have in order to make that right, it has to be with a heavy cream.
Yes. I agree on that
I
one.
use heavy cream where a lot of people will use milk. So
Yeah.
I use heavy
That
cream
makes
for a
sense.
lot of stuff too. Thickeners in gravy. I like it for thickeners in gravy, actually. Works really well for that.
yeah.
Loki says hi. He walked by and said, meh. Okay. And now he's purring because he wants everyone to, he wants to think that he will enjoy being petted by people. He would not. He does not like people.
Neither does Asa.
Loki hides when people come. They all think he's not real because they don't. My friends that I've known for years, only like 3 of them have ever seen him. because he won't come out when people are here. He's like, no, I'm gonna hide. I'm good. Even if he's really, really hungry, he's like, guess I'm not eating. Because he's a dork. Okay, so are we officially calling it a day yet?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
we
think
tried a
so.
while ago and then we kept going.
Yeah, I think so.
Came and asked me to let her out so she can go to bed, so I better go do that.
Yeah,
Alex went to go
I
out.
think it's time to go and get some rest, everyone, and get your
Yeah.
food and sleep
Sounds
and
like it.
tea and coffee or whatever.
Yes.
All right.
Many,
Uh,
Thank you
many,
again, everyone. Thank
Whatever
you.
you're
many,
gonna
many,
play.
many thanks to everyone for
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
You're
it.
wonderful.
Have a
All
good
of you.
evening.
We'll see y'all on the
Good
flip
night.
side.
Hopefully soon.
See ya.
Goodbye. Good night.
Goodbye. Let me find the button. Okay, there it is.